Hey guys, welcome to another review. Isn't that pathetic? It looks like Stubby Daryl here thinks I'll review him if he looks armed enough. Yeah! Never. Anyway guys, here is my review of these two mystery bags of the Walking Dead building figures, and this is their Series 3. Oh yeah. Now I only got two because they're $3 each, and I'm not a millionaire, so I don't know. Leave me alone! Okay, first I'm going to start with the Already Damaged bag here, and it says human. I got both of them human because there's a lot of human figures in this wave that I kind of want. There's Eugene, he would be cool. Michonne, always want one of her. Daryl, that would be amazing. Abraham and Morgan. The only one here that I wouldn't want is that creep, Morgan. If you guys don't know why I hate Morgan so much, look at my reviews of the episodes, you'll see that. And I got two bags, so there is a high potential that I could have gotten Morgan. And usually you can see what it is through these tiny little holes here and here. Yeah, see there's tiny little breathe holes there. But I couldn't see what's in here, so I just went by the feel. And this feels like it could be Michonne because it's very light. And this one feels like it could be Daryl because it feels thick, like his poncho maybe. And let's take a look over the packages first. It says contains 1 of 9, so there are 9 different characters here. And as we can see, there are a lot of walkers here that would be pretty cool. So if I get another one of these, I'm probably going to get a walker. There's some other figures. It doesn't really say anything on the back, nothing important at all. Yeah, so let's crack open the first one here. Let me see if my knife can stab through. Perfect. Okay, let's give me the feels here, guys. Let's say I got Michonne. Please, Michonne. And Eugene. Hey, that's a pretty cool one. See, there's Eugene's head there. That's a lot of pieces, so yeah, I think I'll assemble this first, and then we'll get on to the second bag here. Now, make sure to leave a comment, and I will comment about a question of anything, really, just Walking Dead related, and I will reply to your comment in a video that's separate. So, wow, this guy comes in a lot of pieces here. So, first let's take a look at the little pamphlet they came with, which I apparently cut. And yeah, there's Daryl looking awesome. He looks like his 10-inch incarnation. I don't know if you've seen the 10-inch version of that, but yeah. Oh man, there's a Rick Grimes figure. I gotta get that one. He's holding a gun, unlike the other one. He must be from a building set. And then we've got Pet Walker, Atlanta Walker, Police Walker, Morgan, yeah, Prison Jumpsuit Walker 2. This is just, that looks like this guy just with a different colored shirt. I'm not sure what that's all about. Anyway. Yeah, that's a pretty cool checklist, and it has the same basic stuff here. So let's piece together our figure here. Okay, here's the main body. There's the head. And he has a nice mullet going on there, which is accurate to the character. It's very tight getting that in there, and then it doesn't seem like it wants to retain articulation once it's in. Gee. That's pretty rough. Oh well. Let's pop in the crutch. Which way does this go? This way. There's the crutch pad. So why not? Yeah, it's very tight to get these pieces in. I mean, the previous series seemed like they were a lot looser. But I like how he has more articulated legs. That probably is going to make for better posing. Or most definitely, I don't know. His gun is a separate part from his hands, though, so that means that I'm going to have to work that out. So, yeah. Let me get the arms in here, and then we'll take a look at the sculpt of the figure and the paint and the accessory, I guess, since he actually does come with an accessory. And of course he comes with one of these stands that are invisible. Very hard to get that in. Okay, and now it looks like he's a pretty cool figure just right off the bat. It's not like, he doesn't look like he's definitely Eugene, but I can see the resemblance of Eugene there. But for fitting this rifle into his hands, yeah, that's not going to be easy. You know what? The anticipation is killing me. I'll take a look at this guy once I open up the other one. I kind of hope that, I don't know if Rick is one of the blind figures and they're just tricking us, but if he is, then I hope he's one of these. I would prefer a Daryl if he's not, though. So let's see what I got. And yes, it's a Daryl. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. So the way to tell it's Daryl is he's got to be one of the thicker ones and heavier. So that's how I figured out this one. Alright, so let's crack this thing open. He has the same type of pamphlet as Eugene's, and I mentioned that because I don't want to have to take a look at it, because then I'd have to dig behind here because it just fell back there. Anyway, let's cut him open, or just tear him open. Nope, cut, because that would be too hard. There, and now we can take a look at them seriatim. Okie doke. And, of course, his weapon is a separate piece as well, so let's see if we can switch up their weapons here. Let me push him out into the center here. There's Eugene, so you can look at something pretty while I'm assembling this. Let's see. Here's the torso. Let me get a little focus here while I'm putting this together. Okay, now here's the tiny little Daryl head, and I'd like to point out, it looks like this series has a lot better design to it. Because, I'll go over in a second compared to the Rick figure that I got from last series. These look like they've got a lot more of an action pose and a bit more awesomeness to them. So yeah, here's his one leg. That is the right leg, right? No, that goes there. Learn your legs, man. Well, this one's really tricky. He won't accept the leg. Ugh. Well, one of the complaints though is I don't feel like, whereas the previous one, it felt like you could articulate everywhere that you popped in a piece. It doesn't really feel like that with these. Yeah. Ugh. Jeez, I feel like I'm gonna break him. There we go. Yeah. And of course he came with one of these plastic pieces as well. There's one leg, one arm. Learn your anatomy, man. And here's the other arm. Yeah. It looks like it's going to be hard to get his crossbow in here, so let's start out there. Oh, dang it. Well, I guess I'll show him without the poncho on, then with the poncho on. But first let's go over how his gun fits in here. He's got an open hand, so let's get some focus in here. Okay, there we go. See how his hands are? Let's try and do this. Now, I'm a customizer, so this shouldn't be extremely hard, right? I do this sort of crap every day. Yeah. It's definitely going to go in there at an angle from the looks of it. Urgh. I'm not quite sure what they were going for with this. It doesn't look like he's built to hold it just right. Like, his fingers don't look like he would actually be holding the trigger if he held it like that. But anyway, it fits in there pretty nicely. And he does have the wings sculpted and painted on the back here. I think we'll go over Daryl first, and then we'll look at Mullet Boy over there. But yeah, it's not very white, but it is there. And then he's got his blue shirt hanging out underneath. He's got nice sculpted pants. He's got his knife sheath there. Now, I did get the previous Daryl, but I don't know where I put him, so when I find him, I might do a comparison. And then there's his ripped knee on his jeans. He's got nice shoes. There's the tab for the clear part to go into. And now let's look at his face. This is going to be tricky because he's so petite that my camera has trouble catching focus, especially with my shaky hands. Here we go. Yeah, well, that actually looks like Norman Reedus. I mean, he doesn't have his eyeballs or his beard painted in, but that's kind of expected because this guy's freaking tiny. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty good. And I like the sculpt on the crossbow here. It looks really nice. You can see the arrows there. It's not like the most detailed, but it's pretty good. Here's a side view. 360 spin. Yeah, very nice. Now let's look at how his poncho here works. Slide that over the top. Wow, let's take a look at the paint and sculpt on this first. There's the inside. But look at that. Nice little details. It has the nice color on there. I don't even remember if this is accurate to the patterns, but it looks like it should be. It's very nice. It actually looks like it's fabric to me. Okay. Slide that over his shoulders. Plop on his head. Have his leg fall off. Reinsert the leg, all as planned. And yeah. One complaint about the poncho is it looks a little thick on him. Like it doesn't look naturally sitting over his shoulders. But it's not horrible. I mean, especially once you get this in here, I'm sure it'll look better. Because that'll cover up some of the chunkiness over here. If you weren't planning on posing him without this gun, you would probably do best if you just super glued this on here the best way you want. That way it won't get lost when you drop him off your shelf or something. But look at that. There he is with his poncho. I like his back view here. That looks good. I think it looks better there than the front view here. It looks a little bulky. But that's real nice. I'm definitely going to get more of this wave because this is really nicely detailed, nicely done. And let's see if he can hold the machine gun that came with Eugene. The way his hands are posed, my guess would be no. But let's see. Stick it in there, maybe. I'm not quite sure how this would work out. I don't think there's any way to get this in a handheld position that would look natural. Nope. So you can't pose Daryl with a machine gun. That's too bad. I mean, you could like cradle in his arms and make it look like he's waddling around with it, but no. Sorry guys, that would suck. To get him to stand up seems kind of difficult. I think you would definitely need the extra piece here, which is why it came with this. The plastic part. And pop that on there. Get in there. There we go. Let's see, he's leaning towards the front, so turn these legs. Because of his articulated legs, it's hard to decide which way it should go. But there we go. Nope. I'm going to slide this into the front here, and it's hard to figure out how to get him to stay. There we go. So if you, let me clear this room here. If you put it towards the front here, yeah, then he will stay forward. Maybe that's just on mine, but I don't know. I think that's probably universal. I would like to bet on that. And let me pull up his arms here. Yeah, there we go. I'll go over the articulation last, but let me look at Eugene before I go over articulation. That way they can sort of get in there together. Okay, Eugene. Oh, he's got a freaky face sculpt. Let's get a look here. Good. Come on, Eugene, show off your face. Sorry, it's hard to get the camera to focus because of my shakiness and the tininess of the figures. Oh, gee, that's taking forever. I don't know, maybe we should just find something else to do before we take a look at his face. I know my camera usually doesn't do this. Yeah, well, let's go over how the gun fits in his hands, and then maybe the camera will become less shy. And because of the way his, because of the way his hands are sculpted here, it's going to be kind of difficult to slip the gun in here. There we go. Yeah, not horribly difficult. Aha, the camera's showing. There's his face, yeah. Okay, so there's no real sculpted, painted detail in there. There's like a black wash that's been put in to darken all of his features, but other than that, there's no eyeballs, there's no, I don't know, facial hair, which he doesn't really have any, but no eyebrows. But it does look like him, I think, his snotty little face. I kind of like Eugene's character in the show. He's one of those funny idiot guys. Even though he's supposed to be kind of smart, he comes across as a real moron. There's his mullet. I like it. It's got a lot of little strands of hairs that are sculpted there. I don't know if you can pick up on that. There's the sculpt on his armor. Very nice. There's the leg pads. Every little detail is sculpted so well. And of course, if you have the other version, the bigger version of this guy, he would fit in pretty well because they're wearing the same clothing. So, I mean, if you were doing like a stop motion and you wanted to have him looking like he's from far away, then you use this. But, yeah, I think that would work great. It's got every little detail in there. Not much paint-wise. I mean, there's not much they could do. Just black, and then his shirt here, it's got wash over it. This is his hair. Very nicely sculpted, though. His hands are even sculpted to a very nice way. In a very, very nice way, yeah. English ain't my first language. Yeah, he's got a trigger finger even, and let's see how that works with his rifle, which is well sculpted as well. See that? I think this looks better than the crossbow that came with that guy over there. Let's pop that into his hands. Which, of course, I showed you that I popped it into his hands a second ago, but because it's not permanently in a hand, it won't stay there. It just doesn't want to. It refuses. Come on, hand, you're making me look like a dork here. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's pretty much the best position you're going to get it in, I suppose. It's really, really, really hard to do this. If you know an easier way of posing his hands, then just tell me I'm an idiot in the comments below. I love that. I love being called an idiot. It's the best thing for me. But look at that. There he is posed with his machine gun. Now let's take a look at if he can hold Daryl's crossbow. Give me that. No longer yours. Here's the crossbow. Here's his funky hands. And yeah, kind of. You can make it look like he's holding it. I mean, it's hard because the hand is sculpted not to hold this, and this is sculpted so that the thumb can't go in there, even though he has a thumb. So, yeah. It doesn't really want to work that way, but I think it looks not as bad as trying to fit this machine gun in that guy's hands. Very nice. Let's plop this back in here, and then we'll take a look at the articulation, and then we should wrap this video up. Because, come on, I'm taking like, what, 20 minutes to do a tiny little review of two tiny little figures? I suppose it's because I like these guys so much. They're so cute. I would definitely recommend this series much more than the previous series. It's definitely got better sculpt and paint and articulation, so let's take a look at that. His arm does a full not a full 360, but it can move back and forth quite a bit, but then again it does fall out. And then his head can do a side-to-side turn, can't do a 360, but it can't really look up or anything because it's just some sort of twist joint. And then the other arm can go up to a certain point, let's say up to here, so that he looks like he's about to flip you off. Which, in fact, if you sculpted a middle finger there, that would look awesome. Pose him in the background like, up yours, jerk. Yeah, and then can move back quite a bit. Like he's about to throw a bowling ball. Yeah. And then, as for his legs, he can move into some sort of horrible, horrible, agonizing looking position. Like he's just fallen off of a high building. Yeah, and he can move full 360 like that on both legs, even though it's not easy. And that's pretty much it. That's all of his little articulations. Let's move on to Daryl, the better figure, which I would recommend much more. And I'm really glad that I got this Daryl because he looks like a really, really cool one. I'm definitely going to pose him around and have him as one of my main display pieces. There we go, yeah. Okay, articulation for him, his arm can move up a little bit, about to that much, and then down that much. Not much, but I think it could move more, definitely, without the poncho on, which I will go into in a second. His head can't articulate much with the poncho on. Can only move that much, and then that much. Then his other arm can barely move at all. So let's see what that looks like without the poncho on. Head can go full 360. Arms can go up to behind his back like he's getting tied up. And this arm can do a full 360. But he can also pull it back there and make it look like he's being tied up. Which, if you're gonna watch the season 6, episode 6, I think that's going to have him get kidnapped in some sort of way. I just have the feeling. Anyway, then his legs do articulate. They can do a full 360. I'm pretty sure. No, not this leg. It can just move that much outward, that much inward, because of the sheath that's restricting it. No hip articulation, no waist articulation. And then this leg can move full 360. So yeah, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of articulation per, which is pretty good for considering they're about 2 inches tall. I would definitely pose him with the poncho on because he looks more, I don't know, like he's meant to be in that position. Yeah. I don't think there's no other way to pose him with this poncho on. You can only put it on in this position because any other position wouldn't work, like at all. Not at all. Let's pull his arms up, put his thing in there, and I think I'm going to wrap this episode up in a second once I've done a quick side-by-side look with some bigger figures just so that we can see what they look like. And, of course, if you didn't want to see every last element of this review, I don't blame you. But I like to be a little thorough with my reviews because a lot of people don't take deep looks at the figures. And what I don't like when I watch a review is when someone's just like, yeah, it looks pretty good, pretty good paint, not bad sculpt. Okay, yeah, I recommend them. Bye. It's like, come on, man, I want to get a closer look there. But if you don't like that, I don't blame you. I definitely hate the way that it's not stuck into at least one of his hands, so that, yeah, I don't see any other position that you would have him in, that you would want him to not have that in his hands, especially since he can't hold the machine gun, so, I mean, what else would you put in that hand? But anyway, here's a quick side-by-side with Big Daryl. See, he's happy. Big Daryl. Look at that. He's like his little baby. Oh, his smell killed him. I'm sorry. And then we've got Eugene here. I don't have the other Eugene, so I can't do a side-by-side with him, but he likes Maggie, right? There he is with Maggie. She can hold him and cradle him, and then when he starts looking weird and staring at her in that horrible way that he does in the show, she'll probably drop him and walk away. Yeah. And then here he is. Here they are compared next to Deadpoo here. If you don't know who Deadpoo is, most other people don't either. Yeah. That's Deadpoo. Okay, and here they are compared to some of the previous series figures. Here's Rick, who's so happy to see them. Look at that. He looks like he's partying. Yeah. Let me get a quick setup here. Here's the three amigos here. The three humans that I own. See that? Yeah. Eat your heart out. You don't have this cool of a threesome in your house. Okay, maybe that wasn't the right way of saying it. I don't know. Yeah. And then here's the walker, which is... This is the only walker that I have currently, so... He's a bit outnumbered, considering he's got Partying Rick here. He's got this guy with the awesome mullet who just... Yeah, he's killing it there, man. Except for the fact that he can't hold a gun and just... I would prefer... I prefer this one much better than that one. Yeah, so make sure to check out my other reviews, guys. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to comment for sure. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.